Hey everybody, welcome back to another Crypto Tax Girl video. Today I want to talk to you about the easiest way to reduce your overall crypto tax bill. Now, it's something so simple, but most people don't do it or they don't know how to do it, and that's just incorporating fees into your final numbers. You already paid these fees throughout the year, so you want to make sure that those get incorporated into your numbers and that your calculations are correct. Now, speaking from experience, I've seen this save clients tons and tons of money, especially if they're working on ETH a lot, if they're using Ethereum a lot. You're definitely spending a lot of money on fees on that chain. So incorporating those fees in can really help reduce your overall crypto tax bill. Jumping in here, I want to show you how Cointracking accounts for fees. So you get a little bit of a background there, and then I'm going to show you how we can incorporate those fees into our final numbers. So if we go to the Enter Coins page, this is just essentially the transactions page, you're going to see trades show up. So if I just filter on trades, I'm just looking at trades here, and you can see, we'll just pull this first transaction. 1.99 Litecoin was purchased with $400 US, and there was a 15.35 US dollar fee. Now, the amazing thing about Cointracking is they're going to bake that fee into this transaction. So you don't actually have to worry about trade fees at the trade level, right? They're already accounting for that, and there's nothing that you need to do. It's a super awesome feature of Cointracking. So no need to worry about the trade fees. What we do need to worry about are other fees like withdrawal fees. As you can see here, you withdrew 1.0115 ETH, and there's a 0.0115 ETH fee. So Cointracking is not going to actually bake that withdrawal fee into your calculations for you. We're going to need to do that ourselves. You'll also see things like other fees pop up when you're on chain. So we'll want to make sure all of those get factored into the final numbers that we are calculating. Now, in order to do that, we're going to go to the tax report section and pull those final reports. Keep in mind, in this scenario, I'm assuming this account has already been fully reconciled and everything is good to go there. If you are having troubles with any of that side of the process, please do not hesitate to reach out to us or check out our course where we walk through our entire process front to back. So what we'll do is we'll go to the tax report. Once we're in the crypto tax report section, we can go ahead and pull a tax report for the year that we're working on. I'm not going to walk through this process in detail just because we have other videos on it, and it's also featured in our course, so you can check it out there. But I just really want to highlight the fees portion of this part of the process. So really quickly, we're going to use FIFO. We're going to do 2022, consider all previous trades, group all purchases and all sales. And then the one thing I do want to point out is this third currency fees button. You want to make sure that is switched on because that's going to incorporate fees that are outside of the trading pair that's happening. This can happen when you're on chain, or different exchanges will sometimes do this. Not entirely sure why they do, but it does happen enough where you want to keep that button on and make sure those fees get pulled in. So then we'll go ahead and generate a tax report. It'll give us our numbers for 2022, and then we'll load that tax report. And again, I'm not going to walk through this process in detail, but basically what I'm going to do is take this data, put it in an Excel file or Google Sheets. We use Google Sheets, but you can do either or. And then I'm going to show you how we incorporate the fees. All right, so I've put together those final reports where I've got a summary tab of everything going on. The 2022 gains and losses tab has all of the transactions in it. And then I broke out the three biggest holdings, Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, and then other, lumped all the other coins into one tab. Now what we need to do is bring those fees in. So I'm going to go back to the tax report, and you'll notice if you scroll down a little bit, there's a fee report. These are the fees that need to get incorporated into our final numbers that are not already being accounted for. So we'll download this, and then we'll come back here, and then we're going to import, bring this file in. And I'll go ahead and label this 2022 fees. And I don't need the cost basis calculations. I just need the value on the day that it was spent as a fee. And I'll just do some quick formatting stuff here. And then we'll get the total number. Close the sum. So this account doesn't have a ton of fees. I mean, $506 isn't going to, save the bank here. But this is a small account. This is just a demo account that I made. So there's really not a ton of fees going on. But if you're on ETH all year long, your fees are really going to rack up. So what we want to do here is we need to separate out which fees belong to which currency. So most of these are ETH, but we do have one Bitcoin transaction, one Bitcoin fee. So we're going to insert a pivot table here, 2022 fee summary. And then we're going to do rows. We're going to do currency and then values, value at transaction in USD. The last thing that we need to do is separate these fees to their respective currencies. So as you can see, we've got Bitcoin and ETH fees. So we're going to grab the Bitcoin fees, put them in the Bitcoin tab, and just breaking down this structure a little bit, you can see we've got the initial total line, which shows the total proceeds, cost basis, and gain or loss from all of the transactions above related to Bitcoin transactions. And then we take the fees and we add them in to the cost basis, which then brings down the gain or makes that loss even greater. Now, down below, we break out the long-term transactions and then the short-term transactions, and we break out the fees on a percentage basis. So that's our structure for how we separate out fees. And then we're going to do the same thing for Ethereum. So we'll pop that in here. As you can see, all these transactions were long-term, so all of the fees just get allocated to long-term. We don't have any other fees, so we can just put a 0 in for Solana and a 0 in for all the other currencies. Now on our main gain and loss tab, where we're summing up everything, we're going to take the total of the Bitcoin fees, the ETH fees, the Solana fees, and the other fees, and then we're just going to copy that formula and put it in for the long-term and short-term fees. So that is it, right? That is how we bring in the fees, bake them into the cost basis, and then help reduce that gain or, of course, make that loss even greater. Now, this example is a little, wonky just because it is only $500 of fees, but as you could see, if this was $5,000, well, $50,000, that would be nice. This is $5,000 of fees. That greatly changes that overall gain or loss that's calculated. So really, really important. This is going to help save you money on your tax bill. Bring in those fees. Make sure they get baked into that cost basis and reduce that overall gain or loss. If you need help with any of this, again, please do not hesitate to reach out to us. We're always happy to help. And you can also check out our course, which walks through this process and every single process that we go through with our clients front to back.